All right, let's see what it is. 1. Job propositions.
You approach the notice board, your eyes immediately drawn to two fluttering parchments. Job contracts that call to you like a siren song, beckoning you to a new adventure. If Genevieve needed anything you'd be inclined to assist, it was the least you could do. With a flourish, you snatched them both from the board, wondering which would resonate with you more. The first contract's mythic dice results are as follows. The adventure tone is lethal and warlike. Its location is inactive yet meaningful. Its meaning involves attainment, failure, and is naturally odd. The second parchment has an adventure tone of intrigue and adversity, its location creepy and rustic. Its meaning involves defiance and anger, with a meaning of quarrelsomely deliberate.
When I initially heard the combination of adventure tone, location, and meaning, I went on ahead and I rolled the interpretation and made the quest. I didn't even think to roll and interpret the second quest, which works out because I'm leaving the second contract for the other rogues. It'll be interpreted then.
You ponder for a moment and choose the one on the left, leaving the other proposition for the others. Lazily scrawled across the parchment, you begin reading Genevieve's proposition. It reads, "When the silvery orb in the heavens did cast its radiant gaze at just the precise angle, it unveiled a hidden bastion to the south, shrouded in mystery. For the brave souls who might chance to venture forth, I dare say its recesses likely hold bounties aplenty. Should one find the courage, mayhap seek out the secrets lying dormant within. And if perchance a kitchen thou dost uncover, let not thy thoughts stray far from my humble tavern. Pray discover dishes, spices, or aught else that might grace our patrons' tables, and know thou hast enriched the local tavern's fare. Sincerely, Genevieve." This endless, enigmatic, uncharted void holds a dense, desolate, obsidian landscape stretching infinitely as far as the mind's eye can perceive. The black sand underfoot, fine as a whispered dream, shimmers with ethereal light, hinting at the potential locked within its grains. Shadows dance as dramatic beams pierce the inky darkness, casting stark contrasts that captivate the senses and awaken the silhouetted hills. Echoing silence permeates this alien terrain, serving as a reminder of why you should always remain curious about this boundless expanse where the seeds of creation lie dormant, eager to be unveiled. As you venture further into the mysterious expanse, the atmosphere grows denser, charged with an almost tangible energy that thrums through your very being. Distant shapes of the landscape subtly shift and morph, responding to the will of chaos and probability. In the distance, ethereal whispers call to you, urging you to explore the uncharted depths of this mesmerizing domain. The sense of awe and wonder grows stronger with each step, as the boundless potential of this realm fills you with inspiration and excitement. You've gone past Genevieve's map marker and have yet to locate a bastion on a hill when, behold, by fate, you arrive at the rumored Moonlit Bastion, its ethereal silhouette looming over you.
So, this bastion, I'm expecting to approach some sort of large military bastion. I'm expecting it to be quiet. And I'm expecting there to be a way in, an obvious way in. I'm expecting the doors to be closed and it just be sitting there. The chaos factor currently, we'll say, is at regular, so 5. Let me go ahead and test the scene. One. Altered scene. And what exactly is altered? Rolling on the meaning description table, what is altered? $15.95. Cautiously. I'm going to interpret that as there appears to be a body of a plunderer laying out front, which confirms that there are some valuables here, because someone else had just tried to get away or enter or get out with some valuables, and because of what I'm seeing here, I need to be cautious, because it is confirming that there is something to be cautious about, whether it is danger, and I'll know a little bit more soon.
Indeed, the rumors of the Bastion's hidden treasures are confirmed when you spot the lifeless body of a plunderer lying before its ominous entrance. The evidence of his trade is clear from the mismatched finery he wears and the stolen trinkets that adorn his lifeless form. This grim sight serves as a stark warning, urging you to proceed with caution as you dare to venture into the Bastion's shadowy depths.
Does it appear like this person was leaving? Does it appear like this person was on their way out, or were they going in? Leaving, I'm going to say, with a chaos factor of 5, I'm going to say it's very likely that this person looked like they were leaving.
In the darkened gloom, the fallen plunderer's body tells a tale of its own, a harrowing narrative in his expression of terror frozen upon his lifeless visage. By the desperate clutch of his outstretched arm and the futile scramble of his legs, it is evident that he had been attempting to flee the Bastion's embrace. Alas, the cold hand of fate had grasped him tight, refusing to release him from the shadows that now claimed him as their own.
Is there anything on them? I'm going to say very 50-50, because maybe they were able to get away with something and whatever stopped them took it back. 50-50. Is there anything currently on them worth, of any significance? No. There's nothing on them. Can I see any wounds? Am I able to identify? Do I see anything that would tell me how this person died? Yes. All right, what do these wounds look like? I'm going to roll on the random event focus table soon, but double 100s. That means yieldingly young. What this entity, this stranger, this rogue is young, frail, yielding, and whatever they were defeated by, it was way more powerful than them. So they looked crushed.
Upon closer inspection, the somber reality of the situation unveils itself in heart-wrenching detail. The lifeless form at your feet is naught but a young man, his dreams of fortune and adventure snuffed out in the prime of his life. A ghastly wound bears testament to his untimely demise, the remnants of a crushing blow so fierce and devastating that it left his once vibrant body a mere shell of its former self.
Random event, focus table, 36. NPC action. $91.7. Travel. Joyfully. Lacking. I'm going to interpret this as an NPC introduces themselves. And this is some sort of artist, a traveling artist. And as I'm looking at this body, they say something. Then I didn't notice them at first, and they say something. Maybe because I pretty much walked into their view. This person is joyfully lacking. They're very dull. They're a very dull, morbid person, and they were painting this Bastion, along with the dead body in the view. They were painting the dead body as well as part of the setting. And it's the way that the moon shines on this Bastion, this moonlit Bastion, that is what makes the picture for them. And I'm kind of in their way, and I'm going to take it as they say something. NPC action. They actually take an action. What is it that this NPC said? What is the action that this NPC takes? $13.19. Betray. Careless. Something along the lines of, don't be careless and turn your back on the person that's in there, or else you'll end up like him. We don't necessarily need to know much else about this person. We only need a description, an appearance, and a personality, since we're about to interact with them. 50 higher, male. Anything below 50, female. Male. For description, I rolled armed, principled. Rolling what they could potentially be armed with, I rolled harmful, majestic. For appearance, I rolled tools, extravagance. And then for personality, I rolled weak, good. So I interpret that as this is someone who is timid and overall pretty peaceful.
From behind a large canvas you didn't even notice, a stranger steps forth, their somber garments reflecting the morose nature of their artistry. The myriad of muted fabrics and melancholic hues adorning their form paint a picture of a soul familiar with the darker aspects of life. An array of meticulously arranged tools hangs upon their person, each a testament to their mastery of various crafts. In their eyes, there is a depth that speaks of countless tales of sorrow and emotions untold. Good traveler, the artist intones, their voice a melodic blend of olden and modern cadence. Heed my words, lest thou find thyself sharing the fate of the fallen at thy feet. Scum lurks within those accursed walls. Beware, for to turn thy back upon such a foe would be to invite the same icy embrace of death.
Ask him if if this person is alone in there. What's he say? 2347. Combative. Hasty.
Pray tell, you beseech, was the fiend alone when they committed this heinous act? And what dost thou know of the ill-fated victim? The stranger stows away his paintbrush. You notice several wands of various makes fastened on his belt beside them. As far as mine eyes couldst discern, the scum dost act alone. I beheld the fallen engaged in heated dispute with the wretch. The killer's visage twisted in wrath, didst argue with such ferocity and impatience that one might think he didn't think twice to attack the little one. Alas, the victim's earnest pleas were met with naught but a cold, brutal pummeling.
Does he know why? Does he know why this happened? Were they arguing? You know, did he see why this person got murdered? Very likely. $56. Yes. And what does he say? $98.14. Trust. Business.
The stranger, sensing your curiosity, continues to recount the tragic tale they had witnessed, their voice laden with the weight of sorrow and morbid fascination. Know this, good traveler, that the fallen was naught but a hapless guide, whose purpose was to lead the villainous wretch to this very bastion. Yet upon reaching their destination, the killer, consumed by an insatiable darkness, deemed the guide's services no longer necessary. In a cruel, merciless twist of fate, the very hand that brought them hither didst seal the unfortunate guide's doom, struck down by the murderer they had unwittingly served. The artist's words weave a sorrowful and macabre tale of betrayal, the brutal outcome of misplaced trust. As the stranger shares the grim details, their somber nature and morose demeanor grow ever more pronounced, casting a pall over the scene before you. You look up at the stone bastion. It was becoming more foreboding as you ponder this revelation.
What do you know about this bastion? Do you know anything about this place? What's he say? $88.95. Praise. Simple. I interpret that as his knowledge of this place is only from what he's heard of it. He's heard that it glows in the moonlight. And he's heard nothing but praise from his art peers that it makes for a great location to paint.
Curiosity piqued, you pose another question to the strange rogue, seeking further insight into the enigmatic stone bastion. Dost thou know aught of this place, save for its rumored existence? The stranger's eyes sluggishly drag from your eyes back onto his canvas. Nay, good traveler, I know but little of this place, save that it hath remained elusive to many who sought it. 'Tis a fascinating sight, one that hath inspired me to capture its essence upon mine canvas. As you cast your gaze upon his painting, you find yourself captivated by the stranger's mastery of the medium. The foreboding atmosphere of the stone bastion is rendered with such skill that you can almost feel the chill in the air. Yet, as your eyes wander, you are taken aback by the sight of the lifeless body, meticulously reproduced in the scene. The stranger's morbid fascination with the tragic event is laid bare for all to see, a testament to their dark and melancholy nature.
Why do you prefer to have dead bodies in your art, sir? Abuse. Normal.
Intrigued by the artist's morbid fascination, you pose a question to uncover the reason behind their choice of subject matter. Why dost thou prefer to paint scenes of death and sorrow, such as the unfortunate soul before us? Is it amusing? You ask judgmentally. The strange artist replies, In this untraveled abyss, where scant is known and vast secrets yet remain to be unveiled, I deem it a meritorious endeavor to plumb the depths of the unknown, to revel in the morbid and the dull, and contest the boundaries of convention. To depict the aberrant, to warp the very core of what one deems as customary, is to rouse a reaction, a reconsideration of the realm in which we reside, steeped in shadows and somberness. To paint that which doth challenge the mundane and the ordinary, I seek to awaken within thee, dear observer, a newfound understanding of the master plane and its dark corners that lie hidden from thine eyes. As the artist shares their artistic motivations, you begin to understand the intention behind the macabre scene depicted on their canvas. The artist seeks not only to capture the bleak reality that surrounds them, but also to provoke thought and reflection in those who view their work, challenging the very notion of what is considered normal within this mysterious and unexplored expanse.
He'll probably be here when I get back, so we'll come back to him, but he doesn't seem like a threat. I'm going to go on inside and find this person and figure out what's the big deal about this Bastion. I go in, I'm expecting to see emptiness, darkness, maybe some candlelight if there's any trace. I'm also expecting to see minor traces of a person being here, if not a person being here. In fact, I'm going to say if I expect to see the person, if not traces of them, is what I'm expecting. Chaos factor is 5. A 1. Altered scene. 55, 48, 55, interestingly, 48, horrible, but interesting. Horrible is that something bad has happened to him too, but interesting is that it happened to him. Is this entity injured? Dead maybe, and that's what's horrible. 50-50. No. What is this person doing? And whatever it is, I would find it interestingly horrible. What is this person doing? 1077. 10. Assist. 77. Prison. What's interestingly horrible is that as soon as I come in, this person is behind the cellar. And behind the cellar, or behind the prison, behind bars, appear to be the corpses and bones of countless others. And he needs assistance. This entity, this person needs assistance. As soon as I walk in, he's like, hey, help me.
With caution, you approach the door, opening it slowly and casting a furtive glance within. To your astonishment, the suspect appears, locked behind bars of cold, unyielding stone. As his eyes fall upon you, he swiftly comprehends your presence, and his desperate pleas for assistance echo through the Bastion's dimly lit chamber. The cell is filled with the lifeless bodies of unfortunate adventurers who met their demise within these very walls. "Oi, you there!" he exclaims, his voice rough, panicked, and pleading. "Don't just stand there gawking like an imbecile. Get me out of this godforsaken prison, and mayhap I'll remember your kindness when I'm free. I beg you, time is of the essence." His demand hangs heavy in the air, a mixture of urgency and desperation. The uncouth manner of his speech stands in stark contrast to his dire situation. Yet, despite his desperate state, you are mindful of the tale recounted by the artist and the untimely end that befell the hapless guide.
I'll look around. What does this place look like? Closed. Dark.
As your gaze sweeps across the dimly lit confines of the small stone bastion, the atmosphere is oppressively closed and dark. Shadows stretch and writhe like living entities, engulfing the cold stone walls that seem to close in on you. The flickering glow of torchlight does little to dispel the encroaching darkness, casting eerie, elongated shapes that dance upon the rough-hewn floor. The Bastion's formidable structure, with its towering walls and battlements, speaks of its past as a once impregnable fortress. A palpable sense of foreboding hangs heavy in the air, as if the very walls themselves were conscious.
Dark and enclosed. Do I see anything else other than him in here? Something had to put him behind bars, right? Very likely. Yes. Is it a stranger? 50-50. That's a no. Whatever it is, it's not near him, or else he wouldn't be saying, "Help me, help me." All right, let's see what it is. Solitary. 9. Avian. I'm gonna roll one more for good measure. 19. Composite. I'm going to interpret this as whatever this thing is, this creature, it is what it threw him behind bars. Does this entity notice me? Very likely. Very likely. Yes.
From the oppressive darkness above, a solitary figure descends, its form a breathtaking fusion of humanoid and avian-like traits, composed of the very essence of the stone that builds the fortress itself. This enigmatic being defies conventional description, an amalgamation of the supernatural, ancient craftsmanship and living stone brought to life by forces beyond comprehension. The creature's 2 powerful legs, sculpted from the Bastion's stone, end in jagged, crystalline talons that glint menacingly in the scarce light. Its body is chiseled and solid, its muscular arched back blanketed in a layer of stone feathers that shift and flow like a living tapestry. This walking embodiment of the architecture seemed to be empowered by the same eerie, otherworldly darkness that it breathed. The creature's head a marvelous skeletal grimace, a fusion of predatory avian features and a humanoid countenance. The way its eyes, twin orbs of luminous, swirling energy, were dead set on your own, as it targeted you with its finger, bespoke a keen intelligence far beyond that of any mortal being. Its arms, a breathtaking synthesis of humanoid limbs and avian wings, stretch outwards with fluid grace, the stone feathers casting intricate, ever-changing shadows upon the walls, dimly lit by its dark aura. The creature exudes an air of dark, cold majesty, its presence a testament to the mysterious sorrow that reside within the forsaken Bastion. Its keen gaze pierces you, seeking to apprehend, kill, or both, in either order. This supernatural construct likely couldn't be reasoned with.
What does it do when it sees me? 8114. Release. Calm. I'm going to say that it emits a sound that is an attempt to calm and paralyze me, to sedate me. I think that this creature is able to imprison its captives with this ability. I'm going to say that, judging by all the corpses behind bars, it's pretty effective with its ability. I'm going to say it's probably a little bit more effective than usual.
As the enigmatic creature senses your presence, it unfurls its stone wings, unleashing a paralyzing screech. The haunting wail cuts through the air like a razor, its icy tendrils ensnaring your thoughts and burrowing into the depths of your consciousness. Your limbs grow heavy, your vision blurs, and the Bastion's darkness threatens to consume you. The creature's cry is a symphony of despair that seeks to squeeze the consciousness from your head, leaving you broken and vulnerable. Desperate to withstand the unnatural assault, you attempt to tug on any ounce of resilience you could muster in a pinch, fighting to maintain your grasp on reality amidst the cacophony of torment now echoing through this stone prison.
$76. It gets me.
As you cautiously step deeper into the Bastion, the creature's screech suddenly erupts, seizing your attention. The sound, a mesmerizing symphony of whispers, flows through the air like a seductive lullaby, luring you into its deceptive embrace. The mental assault weaves a disorienting web around your senses. Your limbs feel as though they're being submerged in a pool of warm honey, each movement slow and lethargic. Your vision blurs, the edges of the dimly lit bastion softening into a dreamlike haze. Your thoughts, once focused and coherent, now drift like feathers on a gentle breeze, weightless and untethered. As the creature's screech envelops you, a profound sense of lethargy sinks into your bones, urging you to surrender to the soothing darkness. You struggle to resist the seductive pull of the sound, fighting to stay awake and maintain control of your faculties before the creature's melodic spell lulls you into a vulnerable slumber and a life sentence.
Do I pass out? Do I pass out? We'll say somewhat likely.
No. The sound, a mesmerizing symphony of whispers, flows through the air like a seductive lullaby, luring you into its deceptive embrace. The mental assault weaves a disorienting web around your senses. Your limbs feel as though they're being submerged in a pool of warm honey, each movement slow and lethargic. Your vision blurs, the edges of the dimly lit bastion softening into a dreamlike haze. Your thoughts, once focused and coherent, now drift like feathers on a gentle breeze, weightless and untethered. As the creature's screech envelops you, a profound sense of lethargy sinks into your bones, urging you to surrender to the soothing darkness. You struggle to resist the seductive pull of the sound, fighting to stay awake and maintain control of your faculties before the creature's melodic spell lulls you into a vulnerable slumber and a life sentence. It shall require more than this beguiling force to bring you to your knees, for you stand as a bulwark for those who lack the strength.
So it works, but I don't completely pass out yet, but I do feel myself, I do feel it working on me. I do feel I get significantly weaker. I get significantly drowsier. I immediately shut the door and go back outside and take cover behind the door and see if I can shake off the malaise.
In an instant, you whirl around, retreating to the sanctuary beyond the large double doors. You press your back against the cool, solid surface, taking refuge behind its protective embrace. With each steadying breath, you strive to shake off the lingering malaise, determined to regain your composure and fortify your resolve for the fight ahead.
I ask my manifestation, does my manifestation know anything about this? With the manifestation skill of average, does my manifestation know anything about this? I'm gonna say likely, yeah.
Exceptional, yes!
$44.40, $33.58. Gratify, frighteningly. Food, lethal. A stone gargoyle that captures its victims, feeds off of their life essence as they waste away. Their life essence bleeds into the stone and it absorbs their life essence from the stone, which is why it likes to imprison its victims. But it can also, like a siren, kind of lull its victims to sleep. This is no Bastion at all. This is a stone cage. Whatever this thing is, it found a home here. But we do know that they like food.
With your back pressed against the cool surface of the door, you reach within yourself and call upon your newly hatched companion, the manifestation. This impish, spiritual guide serves as your connection to the intricate web of knowledge that spans the vast expanse of the master plane. The manifestation materializes beside you, its ethereal form flickering like a delicate wisp of smoke. It leans in, whispering in your ear, its voice a soft, otherworldly murmur. It speaks of the hostile manifestation you have just encountered, revealing the sinister nature of the being that dwells within the stone. This creature, it explains, is no mere inhabitant of the Bastion, but rather the embodiment of the structure itself. It is a spiritual construct that ensnares its victims within its own stone cage, feasting upon the essence of the decomposing bodies as they wither away, their remains seeping into the very stone floors that comprise the creature. The Bastion, once perceived as a mere stone fortress, is now revealed as a living, breathing prison. A trap that lures unsuspecting souls into its clutches, only to consume them within its cold, unforgiving walls. With this newfound understanding, your resolve hardens, for you must find a way to overcome this malevolent manifestation and avoid becoming another meal.
I peek back in the door to see if it's coming. Is it coming? Very likely. Is it coming? Very likely.
Yes!
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming.
You peek around the edge of the door, hoping to catch a glimpse of the hostile manifestation. Just as you expected, you see it soaring through the air with an eerie grace, its stone form gliding towards the door with a singular, terrifying purpose. Adrenaline surges through your veins as you realize the creature is faster than you thought, determined to ensnare yet another victim within its treacherous grasp. The moment for action is now, and you must prepare to confront this formidable foe or risk being consumed by its dark, insidious power.
I wait for it by the door. I'm gonna cut this bastard in half. Yeah, he's made of stone, but I can cut through some stone with this sword. Let me look at my character sheet. Strengths. My sword technique. Bonus to odds of severing object in half. I ready my sword and I wait for it to come out that door. Does it come? $62.
Yes!
It comes bursting through the door, and with all my might, with an exceptional longsword, I slash at it. I'm just gonna roll odds. Am I able to hit it? $14.
Exceptional, yes!
So I definitely hit it. Do I sever it in half? Do I sever it in half? My technique is my strength. Bonus to odds of severing object in half. I hit it square. This creature is stone. My sword is big. My skill with it is impeccable. And I hit it square. Do I sever this creature in half? I'm going to say very likely. I'll say likely with a bonus of 1 rank shift. Likely with a bonus of 1 rank shift. Likely with a bonus of 1 rank shift. So I'm gonna give myself a -2 since I'm woozy. So very likely, back down to likely, back down to 50-50. Do I sever it? Do I cut it in half?
No.
69. No. But I do hit it. So strength plus 2 rank shifts. Strength of average plus 2 rank shifts. So above a high. I'll give myself a -1 on the damage. So since I'm woozy. So above average damage. Okay, what's this creature's toughness? I'm going to say its toughness is probably high. So above average versus high. Above average versus high. Do I hurt this thing? Above average versus high. Above average versus high. I need anything under a 45. Yes.
As the monstrous manifestation bursts through the front doors, levitating several feet in the air, you gauge the precise timing and measure needed. With a calculated leap, you swing your longsword in a sweeping arc, targeting the very core of the stone beast's abdomen. The creature eerily howls in agony as your blade connects with its stony form, its cry oddly resembling the desperate screams of hundreds of men drowning beneath the sea. You violently drag your sword back, sending chips and shards of stone flying through the air. Its previously fluid movements now falter, replaced by spasms of torment as it reels from the unexpected blow. The creature looks at you, then at the artist, who we see watching and painting, unbothered, unfazed. You put yourself between it and the artist and stand firm, observing the wounded manifestation as it writhes before you, its stone flesh cleaved and chipped by the might of your technique.
I expect it to attack me physically, is what I expected to do. 50-50. 67. That's a no. The creature does the next most expected action. 89-69. Tactics. Mysterious. I interpret that as when it comes out, it kind of squares up with me and it looks to be planning something, but it's like more like levitating around, thinking. It's thinking. And I don't know what it plans to do next. I can't really gauge what it's going to do, but it's thinking.
The creature, seemingly aware that its previous approach was ineffective, pauses in its advance. Its eyes, glowing with an eerie light, seem to flicker with tactical awareness as it assesses the situation. Its movements become more deliberate and mysterious, as though it's devising a new strategy for dealing with you. You watch with cautious curiosity as the stone beast circles you from above, maintaining a safe distance from your lengthy blade. It appears to be studying you intently, sizing you up and evaluating your strengths and weaknesses. It doesn't attack, but the air around you thickens with tension as you remain vigilant and prepared for whatever cunning plan the creature might unleash next.
I'm not going to wait for it to attack. I'm going to lunge with another strike. With an exceptional sword skill. Does the creature exhibit a new ability to defend itself? Let's see. I'm going to say very likely. It has an ability to defend itself, very likely. $36. Yes. And what is this ability to defend itself? 3685. Energy. Stun. It defends with a shrieking. It defends with the shriek. It defends with its voice again, but more like a force field that to kind of, you know. And again, we'll say this is above average. So it's going to be my exceptional. Will give me a -1. So, because I'm woozy. High versus above average. High versus above average. My high strike versus its above average screen. Anything under a 55 is what I need. $85. So I go to strike and it lets out a shriek that kind of repels me back into the wall.
With unyielding resolve, you spring into action, lunging towards the stone beast with your blade twirling forcefully through the air, aimed for its exposed belly. Just as you close the gap, the creature unleashes a concussive sonic explosion from its gaping maw, the force of which sends you hurtling backward. As you sail through the air, you remain focused and unyielding, relying on your innate toughness and resilience to absorb the impact. Your sword bites into the stone bastion's wall, the edge of the blade digging in and helping to break your fall. The impact sends a jarring shock through your arm, but you grit your teeth and push through the pain, refusing to let it deter you. Sword still firmly clutched in your grasp, you stand your ground, staring down the stone beast as it watches you intently. Having displayed quite the defense, the creature seems to be calculating its next move, while you ready yourself for the next stage of this perilous confrontation.
What does the creature do next? I'm expecting it to follow up with an attack. Very likely. Does it attack? Yeah, very likely. It's hurt. It's hesitant. It's hurt.
Anticipating the creature's follow-up attack, you steel yourself for the impending onslaught, every muscle tensed and ready to react. However, much to your surprise, the wounded stone beast hesitates.
I'm gonna say low versus below average. We'll say low versus low. I just got a good hit too. Anything under a 50. Anything under a 50. I'm good. I'm gonna go for another strike.
Gathering your resolve, you shake off the lingering effects of the sedation and prepare to face the stone sentry once more. Your senses sharpen, your body feeling lighter and more responsive as you regain your strength and focus. With renewed determination, you charge towards the injured creature, brandishing your sword with eyes locked on your target as the distance between you and the stone beast rapidly closes.
44. Exceptional. That's a hit. Do I hurt him again? Anything under a 55.
With precision, you manage to land a swift sword strike on the stone creature. However, the impact, though powerful, isn't enough to cause significant damage or alter the course of the battle. The stone sentry's tough exterior absorbs the blow, and it quickly recovers from the minor setback.
The creature keeps doing what it was doing on the previous round. Huh. Again, it's thinking, it's being tactical. It's being tactical in how it moves around.
The enigmatic stone creature remains elusive, deftly maintaining its aerial advantage as it hovers above you, its wings beating with calculated precision. It appears to be biding its time, assessing the situation with a mysterious, tactical intelligence that belies its primal appearance. As you watch the manifestation, you can't help but feel that it's plotting its next move, anticipating your actions, and waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Its unwavering gaze remains locked onto you, as if analyzing your every muscle twitch and calculating the perfect counter to your forthcoming maneuvers. This game of cat and mouse continues, both combatants poised on the razor's edge, seeking to outwit and outmaneuver their opponent in this high-stakes dance of strategy and power. The tension between you and the stone sentinel thickens, an invisible cord pulled taut, ready to snap at any moment.
Probably waiting to see if I get droozy, but I'm good. I'm gonna go for one of its wings. $17. I'm gonna give myself a penalty for aiming for a specific body part, but it's still a yes.
Your attack lands.
Yes.
Your attack does damage.
Am I able to sever its wing off? I mean, with increased odds with my technique? I want to say very likely. $53.
You successfully sever off its wing. With impeccable precision and resolve, you seize the opportunity to strike at the stone-faced manifestation. Your blade arcs through the air, cleaving the very essence of the air itself as it finds its mark. The stone sentry lets out another eerie, guttural cry of the perished as your sword connects with its wing, shearing through the majestic, rocky sinews that hold it aloft. A shower of stone shards rains down like a torrent of gray hail as the severed wing plummets to the ground with a resounding crash. As the dust settles, you behold the results of your devastating blow, the once mighty creature now grounded and grievously wounded. Its remaining wing flutters feebly, struggling to maintain balance as it regards you with a newfound wariness. We see the artist with a newfound vigor, gasp in awe as he flourishes on the canvas with wild, arcing brushstrokes, as if he too were fighting the creature, though his battle was an uphill battle of the perfectionist, striving to prepare a work of art.
One more, and then I'll roll to see if it succumbs to its wounds. I do this to cripple the creature. What does the creature do now? Does it do what it's been doing? Very unlikely. Very unlikely. $21. Very unlikely. Yes. Very unlikely. Yes. What is up with this guy? The creature keeps doing what it was doing on the previous round. it's being mysterious and tactical. I mean, I'm a beast. It can't figure out how to approach me, man. I'm swinging this sword around. It's probably intimidated by my prowess with this really large sword. I'm going for the final blow.
Despite its grievous wounds and grounded state, the creature remains curiously hesitant to launch an attack. The air is heavy with tension as it hovers there, glaring at you with a mix of caution and wariness. Its eyes, however, frequently dart towards the artist as well, as if it is equally concerned by their presence. A flicker of doubt crosses your mind as you wonder if there could be some connection between the stone sentry and the enigmatic artist. What reason would the creature have for being so wary of them? Could there be more to the artist's presence than simply capturing the haunting beauty of this forsaken place in their macabre paintings? The battlefield grows eerily quiet as the three of you maintain an uneasy standoff. You remain vigilant, poised, and ready to strike as you attempt to unravel the mysterious link between the wounded beast and the morose artist who stands in the shadows, watching with an inscrutable gaze.
Exceptional sword skill. Versus its defense of above average, -1, -2 for the wounds. I severed his wing off. I'm gonna give him a -3 for being crippled. So exceptional versus low. Exceptional versus low. Anything under a 95 is a yes. And that's an exceptional yes.
In this moment of tense silence, you gather your strength and focus, feeling the weight of your mighty longsword in your hands, its familiar grip reassuring and powerful. Your eyes lock onto the wounded stone sentry, gauging its weakened state and searching for the perfect opening to deliver the final devastating blow. As if sensing your intention, the creature begins to make its way toward the Bastion doorway, but it's too late. Your judgment of this foul manifestation has been sealed as you leverage your very long blade outward, denying its path inside. You spring forward, your heavy lunges carrying you through the crackling air with energy as you close the distance between you and your quarry. The artist watches, their eyes reflecting the spectacle unfolding before them as you leap into the air, your longsword raised high. The world seems to slow down for a heartbeat, the silence shattered by your battle cry as you bring the blade down with all your might. The sound of steel meeting stone echoes through the air like a clap of thunder, and the creature's howl of agony is silenced as the mighty longsword cleaves through its stony hide, shattering its core. In a dazzling display of power and skill, the force of the blow sends fractures rippling through the creature's body as your blade passes through into it cleanly. As the dust settles, you stand beside the creature composed, chest heaving with exertion, your longsword still embedded in the remnants of your vanquished foe. The artist emerges from the shadows, their morbid fascination evident as they take in the sight of the fallen stone sentry one last time before its demise.
Does it hurt? Yes. And that's its final, that's the third lethal wound. That's the third wound. I'm going to ask to see if it succumbs to its wounds. Does it succumb to its wounds? Awesome versus low. Anything under a 95 is a yes. Exceptional, yes. I successfully sever it in half on that last attack.
With a swift, powerful kick, you send the remaining husk of the defeated stone sentry flying apart, the two severed halves separating in a cloud of dust and debris. The sound of stone clattering against stone echoes through the air as the remnants of the once mighty creature crumble to the ground, now nothing more than a lifeless heap of rubble. You can't help but feel a sense of dissatisfaction at having bested such an underwhelming foe.
I go inside and talk to the guy. He's behind bars. And he's probably like, oh, you say, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking care of that thing. What does he say exactly? Foolish. Trust. He says, I was foolish to trust in my sources to come here. It was a death wish.
As you approach the killer imprisoned within the stone bastion, he meets your gaze with a mix of regret and bitterness. His voice, now tinged with resignation, speaks of his folly. "'Twas foolish of me to place trust in those treacherous sources. They've led me to this forsaken place. Naught but a death wish it was." His words hang in the air, an acknowledgement of the dire situation he finds himself in. Even though he had been combative and hasty before, it's now apparent that he too has been ensnared in a perilous trap. One that he might not have entered if he had known the truth about this ominous stone bastion.
And I say, just as it was foolish for that your guide to trust you. And I accuse him of murdering the person outside.
With a steely resolve in your voice, you respond to the prisoner's lament. "Aye, and 'twas equally foolish for the young guide to put his trust in thee." Your accusation hangs heavy in the air as you continue. "Thou didst betray and murder the lad who led thee here, seeking only to profit from his knowledge." The prisoner's face contorts into a mix of guilt and defiance, unable to deny the truth of your words. The weight of his betrayal and the life he took bear down upon him as he stands accused before you in his cold stone cell.
What does he say? Energetic, loving. He enthusiastically and with a lot of energy, more energy than I've seen so far. In fact, all the rest of his energy, because he's slowly being, he's been sapped. He says he's a loving and caring person and that he would never do that.
The prisoner's eyes widen, and he suddenly summons a surge of energy that seems to defy the draining effects of the living stone cell. With vigorous animation, he vehemently denies your accusation, his voice passionate and sincere. "I beg to differ, good traveler. Though appearances may deceive, I am a loving soul, and I would never bring harm to another without just cause," he pleads, hands shaking in desperation. "I swear by all that is sacred, I did not commit this heinous crime. Please, you must believe me." His fervent denial and the loving nature he claims to possess create a stark contrast to the dark, morbid environment that surrounds you both. The sincerity in his eyes makes it difficult to dismiss his words outright.
And I say, well, there was a witness outside that saw you killing that person in cold blood. What do you have to say to that? Aggressive. Meaningful. He said he immediately gets aggressive. And this means a lot to me. It pretty much answers my question on whether or not he did it. He pretty much shows some anger. And he says, "That's bullshit. No one, they don't know what they're seeing." And I say, it's funny because this person actually painted a picture of you killing this person. I point over. The artist is standing at the door. He's literally holding a painting of the guy dying, of you killing this person.
The prisoner's demeanor shifts dramatically, and he snarls aggressively. "This is all nonsense. That so-called witness is a liar. I did no such thing." You frown. "It just so happens that our witness has captured the very moment of your heinous deed in a series of paintings." You gesture toward the entrance of the Bastion, where the morbid artist is standing, thoughtfully assessing a gallery of gruesome artwork. Each canvas reveals the killer, caught in the act of brutally assaulting the victim, his hands stained with blood under the highly detailed moonlight. The prisoner's face drains of color as he realizes the undeniable evidence displayed before him. His aggressive facade crumbles, replaced by a mixture of fear and disbelief. The truth of his crime is laid bare for all to see, captured in the stark and unyielding strokes of the artist's brush.
So I say, "You are where you belong."
"Behold thine fate, ensnared in this living tomb wrought of stone," you declare with a calm coldness as you look dead into the giant man's own eyes. "A fitting penance for one who has torn the breath from another's chest. As thou hast made a ruin of a life, so art thou now entombed within this very ruin. A lesson that will be learned by all who tread upon the master plane, seeking to impose their vile will upon the innocent. Retribution shall seek thee out, and thou shalt reap what thou hast sown. As it was, so it shall be, and the righteous shall endure." Your words reverberate through the chamber, a solemn proclamation of justice for all who dwell within the master plane. The prisoner, now subdued and humbled, can only stare in defeat as his fate is sealed within the cold, unforgiving grasp of his stone imprisonment.
I go search the area. There is a rumor that this place could be, there could be a lot more in here. So as in regards to that rumor, do I find anything of significance that I would consider to be treasure? You know, I'm going to look and search in all the nooks and crannies of this place. Is there anything of significance that I'm able to locate? I'm going to say, and this thing was guarding it too, and doesn't seem to be interested in treasure. I'm going to say very likely that there's something here. Let's see if the rumors are true. I'm going to say likely. I'm going to say likely. Yes, 3. That's an exceptional yes. Tool. Fight. I find a weapon. How would we describe this? How would we describe this weapon? $22.99. $22.99. Daintily. Weak. I'm going to interpret that. So I know this, whatever it is significant, but it appears to just be a really daintily weak. Is it a bladed weapon? 50-50. No. What is it? Garbage. Amusing.
As you explore the depths of the stone bastion, you come across a curious object that seems to be of significant importance, possibly connected to the history of this place before it was cursed. The object you find is a daintily crafted yet weak and fragile caricature made of assorted metals, shaped into a comical figure. The figure appears to be an odd representation of an important person or character from the past, mocked and belittled by the choice of materials used. It holds an air of amusement that speaks to the spirit and humor of the people who once inhabited the bastion before the curse of the now-deceased manifestation began to patrol it. The object stands as a peculiar testament to the resilience of those who lived here, finding ways to express themselves even in the darkest of time. Perhaps it could decorate one's table or shelf, maybe supplement a trade. You shrug and then stow it away.
Is there a kitchen? A kitchen area? Likely. Likely. $68. No. There's no kitchen.
As you scan the small interior of the stone bastion, the absence of a kitchen area becomes apparent. You can't help but feel a pang of disappointment, knowing that Genevieve will share in your dismay. The prospect of bland, uninspiring meals is hardly something to look forward to. Your eyes drift over to the unfortunate adventurers, their lifeless bodies lined up within the cell next to the prisoner, and have an epiphany.
I'm going to search those bodies. I walk up to the cage and I tell him to sit. I'm coming in. And I may let him go if he doesn't do anything crazy. What's he say? Angry. Bold.
Before entering the cell to search the bodies, you fix your gaze on the prisoner and warn him sternly, "Dost thou attempt any mischief, and I shall reconsider mine intentions. Yet shouldst thou behave, perchance I may grant thee freedom." He bites back his anger, knowing that his fate rests in your hands, and replies, "Very well, I shall heed thy words. But I assure thee, I am no idle threat." With his begrudging consent, you proceed with your task, knowing that his desperate situation has forced him into submission, at least for now. You stop and stare him down. "Aye, thou dost not need to doubt mine intentions. Shouldst thou attempt any trickery, be certain that I will smite thee down with swift retribution," you assert, making your position clear and leaving no room for misunderstanding. The prisoner's eyes narrow as he takes in your words, but he remains silent, understanding the gravity of the situation and the power you hold over his fate.
I go in the room and I tell him to stay across the room, and I begin looting the bodies. Each body I loot, I'm going to see if he does anything. I'm going to roll to see if he does anything. We'll say there's about 3 bodies worth of things to I'll roll 3 times each loot attempt. Do I find anything on the first body of significance worth taking? 50-50. No. Does he do anything? Likely. No. What's he say? Generous. Rude.
As you meticulously search through the bodies, the prisoner speaks up, his voice dumb and annoying. If thou dost manage to find any valuables mongst these poor souls, I'd be willing to share 'em with thee as a token of me gratitude. Though I do wonder if thou art as good at finding treasure as thou art at sticking your nose into other folks' business. You choose to ignore his snide remark and continue your search, unwilling to be baited into an argument or to let his comment distract you from your task.
I ignore him when I search again. Do I find anything on the other body? 50-50. Nine. That's an exceptional yes. And what is it that I find? Peace. Adversity. Disgusting. Important.
As you rummage through the belongings of a fallen adventurer who appears to have made peace with their dreadful fate as the stone adversary's live sustenance, you come across a worn and weathered piece of parchment clutched within the goopy, decaying hands of a victim. The note holds a series of scribbled journal entries chronicling the author's observations of the stone creature's peculiar fixation with something located high up in the Bastion's ceiling. Hushed whispers and speculative musings suggest the possibility of a hidden treasure or valuable secret that the stone guardian zealously oversees.
Okay. I loot the last and what does he say after that? Or does he do anything? Likely. 40. Yes. What does he do? Liberty. I draw my sword and extend it out to where he would run to block his path.
Just as you're engrossed in the note, the killer sees an opportunity to make a break for it. Quickly realizing the situation, you decide to abandon your search and focus on the imminent threat before you. With a swift and assertive motion, you draw your sword and step forward to block his path, the cold steel gleaming menacingly in the dim light. Your voice is steady and firm as you issue a dire warning. Make one more move, and you'll meet your end right here. The killer's eyes widen, and he hesitates, weighing his options as he realizes that you're not one to be trifled with.
Does he stop? Very likely. Yes. I hold it up to him. Make my way back out of the prison, and I shut the prison door on him. And I leave him there. I tell him I'll be back. Hopefully he's still alive by then. And if you're alive, I'll set you free.
With the keen edge of your blade pressed against the villain's throat, you force him to retreat within the prison's confines. Your face stern, you secure the heavy door and lock it. "Anon, I shall return," you say firmly. "If I find thee still here when I come back, perchance 'tis time enough for thy sentence served, and I'll deem it fit to set thee free." The criminal's gaze is tinged with dread and doubt as he watches you depart, the gravity of his deeds and the prospect of an indeterminate confinement dawning upon him.
I go outside. I'm expecting to see the painter still there. Is the painter still there? Let me check the setting. Chaos factor. We'll say the chaos factor is Up by 1. 6. So it's on 6. Is he still there? One. It's an altered scene. Let's throw in a plot twist. To spice up, to finish this, we're going to finish this on a plot twist. I'm expecting to see the artist. There's an altered scene. It's altered somehow, and it's going to be a plot twist. How is it a plot twist? What is going on outside of this tower? Power. Discover. Because the moon is at a different angle, the Bastion is no longer there. The Bastion is no longer there. And I look at the artist and he looks amazed. He looks absolutely amazed. Luckily, he caught a visual of it and painted it. And I can't believe it myself.
As you step out of the stone bastion alongside the artist, you both find yourselves stunned by the sight before you. In the absence of the moonlight, the bastion seems to have vanished entirely, leaving nothing but the empty hilltop where it once stood. The two of you exchange incredulous glances, struggling to comprehend the mysterious disappearance of the structure you had just exited. You look around, trying to make sense of this strange occurrence, while the artist merely gazes at the vacant space, his face a mixture of awe and disbelief. The enigma of the vanishing bastion only adds to the mystique of your journey through the master plane, a place where reality and fantasy blur and the unexpected becomes commonplace.
What does he say? Haggle. Kind. He's immediately happy and excited that he'll be able to negotiate and the value and argue that the value of this painting is extraordinary, because he actually has a painting of this tower that seems to kind of fade in and out based on where the moon is.
The artist, despite his typically dull and morbid demeanor, can't help but display a hint of excitement at the prospect of selling his painting of the now vanished tower. He turns to you, his eyes gleaming with a macabre fascination, and speaks in his usual somber tone. "Ah, my friend, can you imagine the value of this painting now? A tower that vanishes beneath the night sky? Such a sight would surely captivate collectors and enthusiasts alike. And with you as a witness to its existence, we can attest to its authenticity." His voice trails off, and he appears lost in thought for a moment, no doubt envisioning the potential profits from his eerie masterpiece. Though his happiness is tainted by the darkness of his character, it's clear that he appreciates your presence in this bizarre adventure.
I tell him that I know some people that might be interested in that art, his artwork, and that I know some people in general, because, you know, there's really no one, it's really hard to find friendly people around. And I let them know that, hey, you know, I know some friendly faces, not all of them, but, you know, if you need a place to rest for the night, there's a tavern not too far from here, and he can follow me back, and he'll probably say yes because I can protect him on our way back. But I pretty much invite him to the tavern and as a rogue.
With a voice filled with camaraderie and sincerity, you speak to the artist. "Verily, I know of folk who may find great desire in thy work. Moreover, a tavern of warmth and friendly countenance lies nearby. Shouldst thou seek a place to rest thy weary bones this night, thou art welcome to join me."
Does he accept my offer to come back to the tavern and kind of join the fray? I'm going to say very likely. Exceptional, yes.
The artist's dull eyes appear to brighten at your offer, and in spite of his morbid mien, he responds with heartfelt gratitude. I am most beholden for thy kindness, friend. The promise of a warm hearth and congenial company is most alluring after our brush with that eldritch tower. With gladness I shall follow thee to yon tavern. As the two of you prepare to make your way back to the tavern, the artist meticulously packs up his supplies and equipment. Taking one long, final gaze at his painting of your battle with the stone manifestation, a subtle glint flashes in his eyes. With a surreptitious gesture, he discreetly stows a slender wand away into a hidden compartment within his easel. As he whispers an incantation under his breath, the painted image of the stone manifestation in the artwork seems to flicker momentarily. With his secrets carefully concealed, the artist follows you back to the tavern. Upon arriving at the tavern, you report your findings to Genevieve. Although she is disappointed by your return without the much-desired kitchen supplies, the presence of the artist and his peculiar art brings a fresh energy to the place. Ah, well, Genevieve sighs, a hint of resignation in her voice. I suppose we shall have to make do with what we have for now, yet I must admit our new guest and his unusual artwork do add a certain charm to the atmosphere. The artist beams with a mix of pride and gratitude, his morbid disposition temporarily overshadowed by the warmth of the tavern and the company of new friends. Tonight, despite the lack of kitchen provisions, the tavern feels livelier and more inviting than ever before. You live to walk another day in the master plane.